All right, today I wanted to talk about exactly why Bodygame reveals that respect and desire can't be negotiated. All right, now I know there was still some Bodygame deniers in the video, the last video I posted, which is crazy. But it's because they haven't experienced it. I've been on both sides, and hey, I try to negotiate desire, I try to negotiate respect. Listen, the shit just didn't work. And I was like, yo, maybe it's just, I don't know what's going on. And I didn't understand at the time, right? When I was super skinny, trying to negotiate desire, I mean, women were so disgusted by me. Men had literally no respect for me. It was insane, right? Then I was kind of out of shape and then trying to negotiate desire. And women were like, oh, I'll get back to you. Oh, I had a family emergency. Oh, I have homework. It's Thanksgiving break. That kind of thing. That was what was happening to me. Versus when I got in shape, then I started to see, men asking me questions, men looking at me for leadership, men respecting me more. Even going to fight gyms, people respecting me more. And then also women like desiring me, like going out of their way and being like, oh, like that's fine. Like I know I worked that day, but I could call off and all this other stuff. I'm like, well, that's the opposite of what I used to get. So what changed? And literally it's body game, guys. Like that's how important, we're in a look-based society. I know a lot of people don't believe it for some reason, but you judge people every day based on looks as well. But yeah, we're in a look-based society. All right. So the first thing is when you're in shape, right? That means you respect yourself. And self-respect is going to set the tone. Because in order for you to be lean, right, that means you have self-confidence because you can confide in yourself. That's number one. But also, that means your self-talk is positive. So you're talking positively to yourself. So you have positive aura around you. You have positive energy. And people are going to gravitate towards that. All right. I was having a conversation with a couple at the airport. They were super positive. I'm a positive person, so they gravitated towards me, and I gravitated towards them just because we're both positive people, right? And they were in shape, obviously, even though they're in their 60s, they're in great shape, right? They probably were in some of the greatest shape in the airport that I saw that day specifically, right? But also, when you have self-respect, you have a standard, you carry yourself differently, all right? People with self-respect, people who are in shape, people on body game, like when you're in shape, guess what? You're not going to be like, oh, yeah, that's fine. We could eat McDonald's. Oh, yeah, that's fine. We could skip the gym. Oh, yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter what I eat. Oh, yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter when I go to sleep. When you're on this body game journey, guys, the people who don't like embark on it, they don't realize this. But in order to get to your goal, you have to attack so many areas of your life that you didn't expect. Like for example, when you're getting lean, you think that all you have to do is work out. You think that all you have to do is work out and eat healthy. But it's so much deeper than that. You have to make sure that you're in the right environment. You have to make sure people don't disrespect you. You have to make sure that you're sleeping on time, right? You have to make sure that you're sleeping on time. You have to make sure that everything that you're doing is aligning with your goals. You have to constantly, consistently reevaluate your goals. You have to take time away from where you used to, party, where you used to watch extra movies, and you have to meal prep. You have to work out. You have to make sure you're in the gym. You have to make sure you're doing everything that you need to do. All right. Which is very, very important. Like prioritizing sleep is a big thing. And a lot of people don't realize that you have to do that when you're on your lean journey. All right. That's a big thing. Like I used to just do whatever people told me to do. They used to smoke. They used to drink. They used to do all this other fucking shit. But guess what? As soon as I started on the body game journey, I had to prioritize my sleep. So guess what? Because I had to prioritize my sleep, I ended up, setting boundaries, having more standards, respecting myself more. And then because I had to put my future self in the best position, right? I also had to respect myself more. I had to do what I had to do. I had to, meal prep. I had to say no to fast food, say no to friends, say no to family, right? Set boundaries. And that makes you raise your standards because you have to raise your standards and you have to have enough self-respect to say no to others, because when you say no to others, you're saying yes to yourself. A lot of times people say yes to others, they're saying no to themselves. They're like, oh yeah, I'll help you move. Oh yeah, I'll help you with this, and then you're taking away from your own time. Maybe you scheduled a massage, maybe you're gonna do yoga, maybe you're gonna relax because you've been working so hard and you really needed that break mentally. But someone said, hey, can you do this for me? And then you do it for them, right? And if it's family and it's a once in a time thing, that's cool. But if you're constantly doing for others, they're not doing for you, and you doing for others is taken away from you doing for yourself, that's going to take away from you being able to sustain the journey, because then you're just giving more than you're pouring in. All right. Very, very important. Like a lot of people don't realize they have to pour into themselves in order to pour into others, right? Like if you have kids, you can't pour into your kids until you pour into yourself. That's number one. Just like on the airplane, every time you get on the airplane, guess what they say in the beginning presentation? Put your mask on first before you put your kid's mask on. A lot of you guys are trying to put the kid's mask on first, and then both of you guys die. You got to take care of yourself first before you take care of someone else. All right, very, very simple. Now, another thing you can't do is you can't talk someone into valuing you, right? I used to try to do that when I first started as a trainer. So when I first started as a trainer, I was skinny as shit, all right? And because I was skinny as shit, um, obviously nobody respected me and no one wanted to be trained by me because no one wanted to fucking look like me. And I don't blame them. So I had to try to convince people that I knew my shit. I had to convince people that they would, get something from working with me. But they're just like, okay, well, if you're so in shape or you're so athletic or you're so good at training, why the fuck don't you train yourself? That's what everyone was thinking. And they were looking at me, they're like, why don't you train yourself? Like, if you can't train yourself, clearly you can't train me. You know what I mean? That's what I got. And then when I was out of shape, I was telling people, yeah, I work out. And they're like, you sure about that? Like they gave me that look, or they're like, oh, okay, buddy, that kind of thing. And I know a lot of you guys get that too. You work out, but you don't look like it. So people will be like, oh, okay. And hey, that's just how we are in the society. All right. It is what it is. Because in order to be in the best shape, you have to really like you got to be different. Like niggas who are in good shape, they're different. You go to the gym, you're gonna be stared at. All right. Like every gym has less than most gyms. If the gym population, let's just say there's like 5,000 people that go to the gym, there's gonna be 100 people that are lean there, and they're obviously not gonna all be there at the same time. All right, simple shit. And obviously in like South Florida and like Miami, New York, Houston, you're gonna see more lean people. The population is massive though, so it's still the same ratio. All right, it's pretty much still the same ratio, but you're gonna see more lean people because there's just more people overall. All right, so when you go to the gym, that's where lean people are anyways. But there's still a lot of people in the gym who are not lean. Like majority of most gym populations is still not lean. Even if you feel like you see a lot of lean people, it's because when you see them, it's more significant. You know what I mean? Because they stand out more, period. And another thing, like I said, beginning of the video, you can't negotiate genuine desire. Listen, attraction is instinctive. All right. It's instinctive. Like you guys always are trying to go around it and find ways to like, attract chicks. Obviously, providing and having your shit together, that's cool and everything. But as far as attraction, right? Women are they're going to gravitate towards when you look masculine, when you look strong, when you have a good physique. Like that's what's going to attract them sexually. All right. And then obviously if you have your shit together and you're on the right path, then that's going to attract them as well. And you're ambitious and you got a good career, that's going to be attractive as well. But you being in shape is just a sign that you have self-control, which most women are going to, well, all women are going to be like, I respect a man who has self-control. All right. Because then she can't, you're not easily swayed, which is a good sign for survival. And women are always looking for survival. Because if you're easily swayed, you know what I mean? Like someone might be like, hey, give me all your money and I'll double it and you'll give it to them and then you'll be broke. You see what I'm saying? That's just a small example. All right. Or someone to knock on your door and be like, hey, can I get some water in your kitchen? They go, you let them in and then they kill your whole family. Like that's the naivety that you have when you're not, when you don't have self-control. But also when you're lean and in shape, that means your mind is the opposite of what, most people are doing and what the media tells you to do. The media basically tells you to eat McDonald's and be fat like everybody else, right? So if you look different from everybody else, you're leaner than everybody else, that means you're doing shit everyone else aren't doing. All right. Another thing is weak men seek permission. All right. They always ask for stuff, which is unattractive. And, their testosterone is usually lower, which means they're less ambitious and less decisive. But also it comes off as very unattractive when you ask a woman like, is it okay if I do this? Is it okay if I do that? Like never ask a woman, never ask like your woman, like what you have to do. Yeah, you could run it by her, but you have to be able to make your own decisions. Me personally, I wouldn't run it by her. I just, make my own decision and then tell her, right? Because it's my life, not hers, right? But a lot of people would be like, I've had some people, they're like, they're trying to get in shape and they have their wife, of course. Their wife supports them. So they run it by the wife and the wife is like, yeah, I want you in shape. You used to be in better shape and I used to love you more, or I used to appreciate your ambition, and be more attracted to you physically. So they're like, yeah, it's a no-brainer to get in shape. Cool. And then there's some people that are like, oh, let me ask my wife. I don't know. I'll run it by her. And it's like that very energy that they have to seek permission from their wife is so unattractive to their wife. And then when the wife says no, the wife, would appreciate if the man would be like, you know what, my wife said no, but I'm still going to follow through because I want to get lean. I want to be masculine. I want to be the best version of myself. And then they follow through, and then they get lean, and then they're masculine, and they're making their own decisions. The wife would like that. But a lot of times they're just like, my wife said no, I don't know, I'm scared, like that kind of thing. And it basically means that their wife, you know, it's a lesbian relationship because they're a bitch too. You know what I mean? So that's what I've seen. Another thing is, during the journey of Bodygame, you really get abundance mindset. All right. You really get out of that scarcity mindset, that scarcity mindset. You get out of it, all right? Because first of all, you get more options when it comes to women. So that gives you more of a abundance mindset. But you're more comfortable walking away because you have to say no to so many situations. And then you spend more time alone. You get comfortable being alone. Like, for example, during my Bodygame journey, I lost a lot of friends, obviously. But I mean, they weren't on the same journey. I outgrew some friends. I misaligned with some friends, things like that. And I lost some friends by saying no repeatedly to stuff that just didn't align with my goals, but I was comfortable walking away. All right. I lost some situationships because, you know, I feel like it didn't align or it just wasn't the right time, and I was comfortable walking away. All right. And that's what the journey is going to teach you. You have to be comfortable with that. There is power when you are, you know, every relationship is like that. The person who's willing to walk away, you know, has more power, whatever. It just is what it is. Not saying that try to be that person just to have power, but it is what it is. Like when you're comfortable walking away and you're more independent and you're strong on your path, you're going to realize that, yeah, you're comfortable walking away. All right. And that's strength. Because if you have that, a lot of you guys have that scarcity mindset where you guys are like, oh my God, I need to get my ex back. She's the only one. That's unattractive to her. Or where you're like, I can't miss my friends. You know, he said we're going out to the club. I have to go out to the club, but then I can't lose these friends. That scarcity mindset is going to keep you stuck where you are because you're not willing to walk away. And a lot of times you have to walk away and let go of some things to get to the next level. All right. If you want to get to the next floor, if you want to get close to your goal, sometimes you have to let go of some things. A lot of you guys aren't willing to do that. So you stay stuck. All right. Now, when you build your body, people see the self-respect. People know that you said no a lot. People know that you didn't eat, you know, cake and stuff like that. I've had a lot of times people come up to me, you know, in the bathroom and they see my abs, they see me flex or whatever. They're like, damn, bro, like, I don't know how you put those cake down, man. I don't know how you put those cookies down, because that's something they struggle with. That is one of the reasons that you get automatic respect when you're on Bodygame, because people know, guess what? This motherfucker ain't eating cookies. You could look at someone and you could tell how many cookies they eat, right? There was a stomach I saw today. I was like, that's a 12-pack. That's a 12-pack of cookies at Walmart, at least. You know those soft cookies? Yes, I used to work in a Walmart bakery. Those soft cookies, that nigga's tearing that shit up every day. You see what I'm saying? So you can tell based on someone's physique what they're eating. You can't hide. Like, you're not hiding abs and you're not hiding a big ass stomach. All right. So, and those two things are both earned. The big stomach's earned and the abs are earned. So it's like you're not hiding either. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times, like, people can sense your desire. They can sense your discipline. And it's all more than just vain. It's all more than vain, because when I talk about this stuff, you guys can sense my energy because I actually do this stuff every day, and I'm not one of those people taking steroids. I'm not one of those people, you know, doing 75 hard challenges, because that's the dumbest shit of all time. Winter arc challenges, also the dumbest shit of all time. Keto, dumbest shit. Like, I just do this every day. All right. People are always in a rush to go nowhere. Like, everyone's in a rush to go nowhere, because in reality, when this is your identity, you're not in a rush, because you're always going to be thinking like a lean person. And then guess what? You're always going to be lean because of that. So all this trying to negotiate genuine desire, all this trying to, you know, triple texting these girls that don't want you, all this, you know, trying to get people to respect you that don't respect you. It's not going to happen until you respect yourself first. And you can't respect yourself first if you're out of shape. That literally means you don't respect yourself, because that means you lose the battle on a daily basis and you have no self-confidence, because you cannot confide in yourself. You cannot trust yourself, period. Stay locked in, fellas.